All right, we're going to grab up some headlines that happened today. A rough one. New England Patriots fire Jerod Mayo after his first and only season as the Patriots head coach, joining an illustrious list of coaches that were one and done. Frank Reich last year, Lovie Smith the year before that, Nathaniel Hackett in 2022 as well, David Coley, Urban Meyer, Freddie Kitchens, Steve Wilkes, Chip Kelly, Jim Tomsula. Oh, man, we got Mike Mularkey, Hugh Jackson. Those are the coaches since 2010 that have been one and done. I want to hear your thoughts here. They won the game today. Got some Joe Milton hero plays. Drake May kind of went one series and done. But what are your thoughts on the Patriots parting ways with Mayo?
It's embarrassing, I think. I mean, I understand there's reasons to be upset about the performance that they had this year. But the way that I think he's been covered this year has legitimately been embarrassing for a good chunk of Boston media, a good chunk of people who pride themselves on trying to do a good, complete job. Like, you guys obviously failed here because they finished with the same record as last year, right? 4-13. And we've talked about all, like, for not all last season, like for the past 3 seasons, about how this guy was, potentially the future of the Patriots. He got interviewed by a bunch of teams every season and then will opt to go back to New England. So, like, this has been the plan for such a long time, and just to bail on it after 1 year, like, when you had the same record as last year and, like, you have a quarterback, I think that that's pretty rash. And what's been really disturbing, honestly, since he's been fired, is there's just been this avalanche of unnamed sources just using reporters as fountains to just spout whatever they want to say with no recollection or looking back on what happened like a year ago. Like, there was one report today that said the Patriots knew that this was going to happen, or people within the organization knew this was going to happen. Then why the hell would you hire him in the first place? If you knew that things were going to go so bad a year out that you would be firing him, why the would you waste time hiring him in the first place? What are we talking about here? So it's just, if you're paying attention and you're not blocked by, like, all this rosy, Patriots lore, Boston culture nonsense, it's so easy to see what happened here. They feel like they messed up, but no one wants to take any accountability for it. So they're just piling it all on him after he's out the door, after they get a win in the final game of the season. I think it's horrible. I think a lot of, like, beyond the football aspect of it, which seems pretty rash to me. I mean, Christian Barmore missed most of the season with a heart problem. Your best linebacker was hurt, and the rest of the defense was old, like, just deteriorating. So the fact that they were bad this year, it shouldn't really be surprising to anyone. And the way that they're just using them as meat shields for their failures this season, and how many reporters are letting themselves get used as meat shields for the Patriots' failures this season. Stand up for yourself, do a better job, and hopefully they get it right this next time, because this looks like a dysfunctional situation for someone as talented as Drake May. Like, this doesn't seem like anyone there has a good grasp on what's actually coming next, because you're going to tell me Jerod Mayo chose every single player that was going to play for the Patriots this season? Elliot Wolf, you have some responsibility here for what happened too. So everyone's just hiding back in the background. I can't believe, we always knew it was going to be this bad. Then you should lose your job too, because you just punted a year of one of the best quarterback prospects that we've seen in quite some time. I think it's infuriating and childish, honestly, the whole thing.
Yeah, it just felt like he got real, like, the messaging was just so stark about what I kind of felt as a neutral observer, and then when I stick my head in to every team's hurricane, because everyone has a different size hurricane around it. And there, it just felt like every week I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, what the hell?
And so mad about something that everyone's surprising.
Any mistake he made as a head coach, and I'm not saying how Mayo and the Patriots played this year was, like, all the way redeeming, or where I was just like, oh, wow, you guys got to see this, the silver linings. I talked with Matt about it. I was hoping to see more like Dan Campbell's first year or Kyle Shanahan's first year, where those teams sucked, but then they were actually, like, playing hard and keeping games close. And it's like, okay, at least they only lost by 10. They only lost by 7. They only lost by 4, as opposed to getting blown out week after week. It just felt like, to me, though, like, all the support system just went, okay, never mind. But, like, as opposed to, like, trying, it just, like you're saying, it just kind of, there's just everyone backed away and said, this was my choice. And it was just like, whoa, but wasn't this the coach in waiting? Wasn't he the handpicked guy? I felt so weird. Wasn't this the Patriot guy? Like this was it, right? I thought this was, you guys were going to segue into this. And it just seemed like others were using Mayo as kind of just a character for their own arguments. You know, he was as opposed to just like what he was doing and helping him out, is more like they're using their own agendas and using how Mayo was doing to get their own agendas across, which is just, I mean, yeah, I just feel it wasn't great. It wasn't pretty and everything, but I just felt like it was just, there's no support about this at all.
Yeah.
And so now you're starting about zero.
And to some reporters, please do your job and stop being used as a stenographer. You are not a stenographer. You are a human being with actual brain and thinking power, I hope. So when someone texts you, oh, it wasn't Ardia, this hasn't even been a full year where he's been the head coach. Think, please, do your job. And, okay, don't just be a mouthpiece. Think.
And if it's going to be Vrabel, like, which it seems like the likely favorite, like, why didn't you hire him last year? That's what I don't get. Like, what was, like, if
also,
you
how's
say,
that different, really?
I know. Well, you know, Vrabel did have, like, his teams played hard. I will say that in Tennessee. I get that and everything. But also, it was just like, are you selling me Patriot way again with another defensive coach? All right. Like, I don't know, like, what's your selling point? Because he's done it before. All right, then why didn't you hire him last year? I just don't understand, like, what, that's why that choice is weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, what did sitting out 1 year do for him? He worked for the Browns. The Browns sucked this year. It wasn't like he was working with the Vikings this year or working with the Rams this year or working with some staff where I'm like, oh, that's interesting that he's working with them. He worked for a team that stunk. And he's a defensive guy and the defense stunk. The offense stunk. Like, I don't know, like, just weird to me. I like Vrabel too, but it just seems weird that it's just like, this is it. Like, done. Are they the sneaky Ben Johnson team? That's my other thing.
I mean, I do think this is kind of defensible if you can land Ben Johnson, but I just think the way everyone's going about it is absolutely reprehensible. It's disgusting.
Yeah, because the Patriots won today and beat the Bills. It felt like the Bills were like, no, I insist, you win. The Patriots are now selecting number 4. So all that trade stuff I did last week kind of just went out the window, all the discussion. But picking 4 might not be the worst thing in this draft, but we'll have plenty of time to talk about that and their future for the next few months.